Howdy, everybody. Happy October. It's episode 2 now of my October series where we talk about creepy things. Yeah, that's pretty much it. That's pretty much the whole gist of it. The next 2 entries on this list are things that are very difficult to explain. They strike a very specific chord for me, for whatever reason. Both of them are sound-based fears, kind of, and they're a very weird fear. The first thing we're going to be talking about is the PlayStation 1 startup sequence. Okay, now picture this. You're a young, impressionable child of the age of 7 or 5, maybe. You see a bright, shiny game named Crash Team Racing. You pop it into your big brother's PlayStation, and you turn it on. And you're greeted with this loud, booming intro sequence. Long story short, I find the PlayStation 1 startup sequence eerie for whatever reason. Listening back to it, I mean, I could understand why. The first screen with the Sony logo, it's like a loud, drony boom. And then it fades into this black PlayStation logo. The sound effects used for the second screen are bit crunched and distorted, which make it feel alien. I mean, I guess that's what they were going for. They wanted to make the PlayStation 1 sound new, unknown. But with that comes the fear of the unknown, as we've talked about before. And these sounds, well, the instruments used, give off an unnerving feel because of how different they sound from regular instruments. I mean, you can make them out, like, there's like chimes and bells primarily. And it leaves you with this like lingering bell tone at the end of it that just makes it feel isolated. You know what I mean? It makes you feel isolated. Like, I'm not gonna, if I listen to this now, it's pretty nostalgic because I did grow up with the PlayStation 1. But I remember as a kid wanting to play Crash Team Racing or just Crash and dreading the idea of turning on the PlayStation 1 purely because of its intro screen. I mean, it's not something that I would shit my pants over, but it was a fear nonetheless. I think I would leave the room after pressing the on button, almost like a fucking ding dong ditch or something. I'd click the button, run out, so I wouldn't have to endure the fear that it struck into my heart. Like, it seems ridiculous now, but like looking back at it right now, I do understand why I would have felt that way as a kid. And yeah, it's not scary, but it's unnerving. Like with the noises and the black screen combined with the weird primitive 3D logo. Yeah, I can understand why it would creep me out or maybe just startle me. All right, moving on. The PlayStation 2 sound effect. This one, like I mentioned before, as well as the last one, creeped me out for a very hard to explain reason. Like, I don't know why. Like, I don't know why they creeped me out when I was a kid, but they did. And I think I'll have an easier time explaining why the PlayStation 2 sounds creep me out, but let me listen to it before I formulate my thoughts. Yeah, so with this one, I feared the actual menu rather than the boot up sequence, because the boot up sequence is kind of relaxing. It's like, and it zooms into like a blue void. Then it fades into the actual PlayStation 2 menu. And that's when we get into the real meat of creepiness. Because first of all, it's a blank screen, so a void, with the only thing there being the blue orbs flying around in a circular formation, and the familiar yet distant sound of a beach in the background. It's just a combination of not knowing where you are, what the blue orbs are supposed to be, and why you can hear a beach. It almost feels like you're in some kind of dark purgatory. I may sound really pretentious right now, but I'm trying to really try to convey to you the kind of feeling I get. It's a very isolated feeling. It's almost like you're looking into the inner workings of the PlayStation 2, and it feels like the PlayStation 2 is alive. But yeah, I was deathly afraid of both the PlayStation 1 startup and the PlayStation 2 startup and menu. Later on down the road, I found out about the error screens on the PlayStation 2. If you were to insert a disc that was not formatted to be compatible with the PlayStation 2, this red, like, angry screen comes up. Well, thank goodness I didn't run into this kind of creepy prompt when I was a kid, because that surely would have kept me away from the console. And speaking of error screens, the corrupted BIOS for PlayStation 1. Oh man. Now, if you found the
PlayStation 1
boot up screen to be creepy on its own, the corrupted BIOS startup version, it's way beyond eerie. So first it starts up with this distorted Sony logo. Then it tries to move on to the PlayStation logo, but it fails. And it's all silent up until like a minute later when the corrupted version of the startup sound plays. And it starts off as these high-pitched, distorted, bit crunched bells that repeat over and over and over again. And it keeps adding it on. It keeps adding another layer of bells and then another layer of bells. And then the chimes come in and it's like distorted as well. It gets to a point where it's really high pitched And throughout this entire time, you're just staring at this fucked up screen with a Sony logo slapped on there haphazardly. Now that would have probably fucking traumatized me as a kid, because that's like, holy crap. Talk about sound-based fears. That is just like, that is unnerving. This corrupted jingle that is played in the BIOS corruption screen has been dubbed by people as personified fear. That's exactly what the fuck is going on here. There's nothing to add to that. It's just a very good title for a very eerie sound. Alright guys, those were all my PlayStation fears all wrapped into one video. Tell me in the comments whether or not you found this kind of stuff creepy as a kid. Because I can't be the only one, right? Right? Anyway, like, sub, do whatever you gotta do. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.